Hey, what's up everyone? So before starting the video today, I'm gonna start by thanking vivaperformance for collaborating with me, helping me throughout the build for my V70R. I'm gonna also thank nukeperformance for sponsoring me as well. So today what I have planned for you is pretty much a quick run through and unboxing of some couple parts that I got for my fuel system. So first thing first, I'm going to start by showing you this OEM fuel rail and fuel injectors that came out of a S60R. I got it from the junkyard, so it's going to help me make a little bracket for the OEM fuel pressure sensor. I'm going to probably throw a little picture in the editing so you can have a little of a visual aid. With the billet fuel rail that you have from nukeperformance, I'm going to show you right here. So here it is. So if we look closely here, I'm going to make sure it's focused. It is not. Well, it's not the same thing as the OEM fuel rail. So for example, right here, it's just a little hole. There's an O-ring on the OEM fuel pressure sensor. It pretty much plugs in and stays here. On the nukeperformance one, you're gonna have to buy a AN fittings, depending on the fuel line size that you're gonna run through. In my case, it's an -8 AN fitting. So the fuel rail female side is -8. So you about a 2-8, 2-8. 2-10, 2-8. I'm gonna put it here, and with the little picture that I'm gonna throw up in the editing, it's gonna show you how I'm gonna be able to still keep the OEM fuel pressure sensor while using this nukeperformance fuel rail. So obviously the quality is not even close to the OEM one. It's way better. It's also way safer to use in high horsepower builds. And also the main reason why I got this one is because I'm gonna have to run a one-to-one fuel system conversion. So with the OEM fuel rail is going to be way harder to run, and I simply don't want to cheap out on such an important part and have more problems later down the road. So with the package, you obviously have some fittings that go right on the fuel rail. They got O-rings, little screws, and brackets to actually keep the injectors in place in case you have an accident or whatever. So it kind of utilizes the same OEM system. So that's pretty neat that it took this into consideration. I'm gonna put this away. So obviously the two little AN fittings. Then let's start here with the injectors. So these are custom made. There are 1200 cc's. There are fiveomotorsport injectors, but I've been through vivaperformance to actually buy them, and it was for two reasons. First of all, the price that they were able to give me. Obviously, if you know who vivaperformance is, you know how good and their customer service actually is, and how they go above and beyond to actually help you. If you don't know them, I highly recommend them, not only because they are actually helping me, just simply because I've been buying parts from them for a couple years, even before starting this build. So one reason also I've been with them, it's actually the little connectors. So for the OEM harness. So I was supposed to buy 1300 cc's ID injectors, So first of all, there were around I think it was something like 1100 US plus a couple hundred in additional fees just for the harness, to plug in the OEM harness. So I thought that was absolutely ridiculous for a price for only 5 injectors. I've been building a couple high horsepower builds in a couple past years, and I've never seen such expensive injectors. So I went with these. They were way cheaper, actually almost half the price, and I didn't have to actually go through the process of making custom harnesses. So these, for example, I'm going to show you. So one end would plug in the injector and the other one would go in the OEM harness. So no wiring to do. It's gonna save me time, money, and simply, obviously the quality is really good. So it's gonna be also be safer to run than if it was me that did all the wiring. So obviously, whenever I'm gonna put all of this together with the fuel injector in the car, I'm gonna also make another video. For the fuel pump. So I chose to go with pretty much an overkill setup, just because I've seen so many different posts, forums, threads where people tried to hit their goals and they had issues because the fuel pump wasn't strong enough or the injectors were too small. You pretty much understand. I don't want to have this trouble, so I've chosen to buy a 525 liters per hour pump, and I also got this one, so it's pretty much the same thing as the injector, so it plugs in here, but in this case I'm gonna have to do the other wiring, and it's pretty much the easiest thing to do here. It's nothing too hard to do. Obviously we got the little built-in filter that goes here. Once again, when I'm gonna be putting all of this in the car, in the fuel tank, I'm gonna also be making another video. I'm pretty much trying to do the most complete documented build for a Volvo, for a high horsepower Volvo. Obviously there's a ton of stage 2, stage 3, even 4 full bolt-ons E85s, but when it comes to full custom stuff, there's only forum threads. Obviously some of them are really detailed and really well put together, but obviously on YouTube and with a video it's a bit easier to understand. So I also went with the Nuke fuel pressure gauge. So obviously nothing much here to say. It's gonna go on the nukeperformance fuel regulator. There we go. So the quality honestly amazed me. I wasn't expecting such a good quality, and there wasn't really much to say, honestly. What was described on the website is what you get exactly. Like I said, if you cheap out on some of these parts, most people go with the eBay ones. They are super cheap. Some of them last for years, others failed within a couple weeks. So once again, that's not something I wanted to cheap out on. Also, it had the Swedish flag, so with Volvo, I couldn't miss out on that one. And like I said, I'm gonna have to do a full video explaining how to install it, how I routed all the fuel lines as well. So I'm trying to help out if someone in the future is trying to do a bigger build or similar build as well. The big goal here is obviously to show you the progress I'm gonna do on the car, and I also have a couple other videos prepped for you guys. I have the full engine build from the piston rings, connecting rod, the whole engine assembly, in other words. I have a cup, if I'm not mistaken, I got a port and polish video. I did a full port and polish job, intake and exhaust side and valve seats. I've done all of this myself. I'm gonna show you how to lap the valves as well. It's pretty much a super easy job, but that's always something that most people don't do, but it goes a long way. Obviously, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been doing some pretty unique stuff with carbon fiber. I've actually made the first couple forged carbon fiber parts for the P2R platform. I've made the space ball. I've made my mirror covers as well. I'm currently doing my V70R wing, the OEM wing, so I made the mold and everything. It took a little bit more time than expected, but obviously hard work pays off at the end. I'm getting a custom front splitter. I wanted to do it in a forged carbon as well, to match all the forged carbon exterior bits, but I was just scared that if I ever scrape it, I'm gonna have to work another couple of months to always fix it. So that's something I wanted to avoid as well. And that's pretty much it for today. So obviously there's not much details coming here. Obviously it's just showing you what to be ready for the next couple of videos. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment.